like chicken to the slaughter. Jesus Christ. I don't know, maybe I can halfway understand why Chick-Fil-A is causing such a ruckus in Traverse City. Because Traverse City's fucking boring as fuck. So the most exciting thing that could happen this year is a new restaurant or a new fast food place opening up. So everyone's gotta be like everyone else. It's gotta do what everyone else is doing. Because oh my god, it's trendy. Oh my god, it's the new biggest thing out in the Traverse City area. So everyone's gotta fucking do it now. Gotta keep up with the Joneses. Because if they're doing it, I have to do it now. God, I am so glad I'm not a part of that mentality. Like clearly a lot of the Traverse City people / Northern Michigan people up here. Jesus fuck. If fucking Grand Traverse 911 on their own Facebook is posting about Chick-Fil-A causing disruptions in traffic and all this other crap, that's clearly more than just fucking traffic problem. That's a culture problem. Because, you know, I don't really care about their little Christian anti-LGBTQ crap. And I'm an atheist, you know, or an agnostic or whatever you want to put it. I'm somewhere in that spectrum. In other words, I don't really believe too much in a God. I'm not religious or anything of the matter. And that will not be the reason that I do or do not go to an eatery. So, you know, it just amazes me that a lot of people in the comment section on the Facebook post there were, again, making everything political, because everyone's got to be political about every little thing. PC culture and who can be the superior one over the other, you know, takes, you know, precedent over all and everything else. Because that's all it really is those that oppose Chick-fil-A because of their anti-religious views or because they're offended. Oh my god, I'm offended. Biggest fucking thing in the world because I'm personally offended. That are going and bitching and moaning about, oh, I'm not gonna go to Chick-fil-A because they're anti-LGBTQ. Oh, because their organization donates to people that are anti-LGBT, you know, all those other fucking letters and genders that don't exist and shit. It's literally just a fast food restaurant. But because of the safe space, PC culture, cancel culture, pussy, mamsy, pamsy, oversensitive, over emotional environment and era that we live in, it's got to be blown out of proportion. And because of the hyper partisan culture that we also live in, where there's a staunch divide between Republican and liberal, but I'm smart enough to not be on either side because I am in the middle, pulling from the good from the Republican and from the liberal Democrat. I pull them all together and make my own. Because compromise. Because not one style of thinking will ever defeat another style of thinking or fix anything at all. You gotta make compromise and bring both of them together. But anyway, the people that are going out of their way to, you know, trash on other people for eating at a fast food restaurant just because they're, I guess, offended or they don't like who Chick-fil-A donates to is just a superiority complex flex. These people are trying to virtue signal their way to this moral superiority, meaning they're so much better than you just because they don't go to Chick-fil-A because of their beliefs or because they're offended or because they're, I guess, bigoted, as some people were saying. a lot of people are saying there's this chain with a history of discrimination. Then we have people that are saying, I wish someone would start a restaurant that donates to conversion camps that try to convert conservatives or Christians that utilize methods like electroshock therapy. It would be sweet irony to laugh at you people who get upset about and tell you it's just chicken. Like, that kind of thing. That is such an irrelevant fallacy of a statement and argument that I can't even believe someone was stupid enough to say. Because regardless of what they donate to, whatever Chick-Fil-A donates to, it is still just chicken! It's still just a restaurant! The Chick-Fil-A in Traverse City doesn't go out of their way, like the employees or the building doesn't do anything. They just serve people fucking food. You're virtue signaling and getting all huffy and puffy at the wrong thing and the wrong person. Go after the actual people that actually do actual bad things. Yeah, sure, I get it. Your little cancel culture mentality is, oh, I want anything to do with them canceled, and I don't want to go and buy anything from them to give them money through buying their chicken to support these bad guys at the top of the chain. You know, I get that, and that's your fucking decision. But you're not morally superior. You're not flexing any sort of superiority complex that you clearly have. You're not doing anything but making yourself look like an ass and an oversensitive pansy. That's all there is to that. Like, you know, then we got another person that says, I'll take my chicken without a side of anyone's opinion shoved down my throat. I'm pretty sure nobody, while giving you your chicken, will shove any fucking opinion down your throat. They'll probably just give you your chicken and say, if anything, have a nice day, or something of that sort. Like, I swear to God, these people are literally stupid. Like, this is the mentality of the nowadays people. What the actual fuck? So anyway, on the other end of the spectrum here, you know, I get why people are kind of annoyed by having Chick-Fil-A around. Because, I mean, shit. Grand Rapids 911 is literally having to post about traffic disruptions. And not only that, but they're having specifically police officers having to direct traffic. Literally, they say, and I quote, we have some deputies doing opening detail, but still use care in the area, unquote. As to say, there are actually law enforcement dedicated to and being paid specifically to only detail Chick-Fil-A. I get the idea of wanting to have a location where it's open and a lot of people are passing by, so a lot of eyes see it. But at the same time, it was a terrible placement as well. I get, you know, because and it's a pro and a con at the same time. The pro is you get a lot of eyes there, you get a lot of, you know, people passing by, so there you can be like, ooh, I want Chick-fil-A, you know, because they see it, you know, kind of thing, rather than the age-old out of sight, out of mind. So that is the pro. I get it. The con is this, where it's so heavily populated all the time, as are all Chick-fil-A's, so it's not like they can just up and say, oh, we didn't expect this to happen, or anything like that. But when you're literally the cause for such a major disruption in traffic and having to specifically have dedicated officers specifically detail that specific restaurant and area, that's a problem. That really is a problem. I remember just going past that area. Luckily, I didn't have to make any turns or anything, but there were a lot of drivers that were stuck in the middle of the intersection because of the long lines that weren't moving because they're all trying to turn into the Chick-Fil-A. So it was like this, and so we had people that could not go straight. We had people that could not turn right because of the people that were in the middle of the road. So you couldn't do that. You couldn't turn left because that's where the traffic was mainly, because they were taking a right mainly, and so they couldn't take, so it was basically blocking off all the road. And I know it's not the fault of the drivers, because you expect that there would be, a good flow of traffic to where you're not stuck in that position of the road. So, this is more than just a bad placement in regard to traffic. It's literally going to be the cause of so many crashes. I can already tell, especially when it's summertime and springtime and everybody's up here, whether it be Cherry Festival or otherwise. Mark my words, that area of where Chick-Fil-A is going to be number one for crashes in the whole entire Traverse City area. No doubt about it. Because there's going to be tourists and all that mixed in with the locals and mixed in with teenagers. And it's going to be chaos. And I'm going to be avoiding that stretch of road entirely, except for on Sundays when they're not open. But anyways, it's this constant fight that I just don't get, though, because we have the Republicans and all that are just ha 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 ha, whatever, and then we have the Republican or the Democrats, liberals, blah blah blah, that are trying to virtue signal and gain some sort of moral superiority that they don't have. And then we have, the bullshit of Traverse City people and Northern Michigan in general all flocking to the newest thing because they gotta keep up with the Joneses. And you got yourself a three-way fuck fest. Not cool. It just amazes me that they would just flock like chickens to the slaughter. Get it? To this new place. And another thing that I agree with a lot that was stated throughout the comment section too was, you should show this amount of enthusiasm to a local place, not some big brand, already well known, already well established type of place. And it's funny because there were some people saying like it's a glorified KFC. And honestly, I don't disagree with that. That's pretty much right, And then the person under him said, "Bunch of grown-ass adults getting excited over a fast food chain coming to town. Pretty embarrassing. The world we live in, man. LOL." And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. It really is pretty childish, to get this excited to cause a fucking disaster of traffic over it and everyone flocking there like, mouth breathers. So, I get that. But nonetheless, the people that are saying that we should be this excited for local areas, local restaurants, local this, local that, I'm just going to end it on that. And on this point, that we honestly should. I mean, I get that people will go to what they go to and do what they want and eat where they want and blah blah blah. And that's up to them. That's all cool. I don't care. But I really do, on a personal note, wish that as I guess Northern Michigan region in general, that we would flock to a very local, family-owned type of location, whether it be a restaurant, a store, or otherwise, with the same enthusiasm as everyone's demonstrating for Chick-Fil-A. As such, Traverse City is a small little city. As much as it's overly glorified, as much as it's overhyped and, you know, overrated and all that, ultimately we are just a tiny little city up here, filled with a lot of overprivileged people, and a lot of junkies and a lot of other bullshit that, you know, is up here. But in the end, at the end of the day, all we have is each other for supporting one another, business owner wise. So while I'm not an extremist on any end or any spectrum, whatever you want to call it, I am totally down for supporting local, family-owned eateries, restaurants, stores, you name it, with the same enthusiasm as people demonstrate for Chick-Fil-A. I'm not trying to say, oh, you know, you're shitty for not doing that or anything like that. You know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and that's all there is to it. You're gonna eat where you're gonna eat, and I don't give a fuck. But in my own personal what have yous here, thoughts, feelings, opinions, whatever you want to call it, I would like to think that we would all support locally like that, but I'm not going to say that you're shitty because you don't. I'm not going to say, you know, I'm not going to gain some sort of false superiority by saying anything of that sort. But what I will say is I would like to encourage people to do more local, because those people need it more than places like Chick-Fil-A. And that's all I have to really say about that. But hey, if you want your Chick-Fil-A, you go for it, man. I don't give a shit. That's all on you. I'm just putting my, you know, thoughts out there. So that's all I got to say about that. Until next time.